are going to learn to install Splunk. Very simple lab, but very, very important. Okay. So let's do this. Make sure you have a Ubuntu machine. Get a Ubuntu machine. Again, as I said earlier, you can have Ubuntu server 22.04. That's what I recommend. You can install on your virtual box or maybe VMware or maybe in the cloud. Okay. Once you have that, run apt update immediately. Okay. This might take some time. Perfect. It's done. All right. So let's first install this Splunk. I can copy this file, wget command. I have to format this, so I'll do that later. Do the right click. This will install the Splunk file on this Linux machine using wget. Okay. Let's wait for a few seconds. Perfect. Do the ls and you can find the file here. Okay. Let's extract the file dpkg minus I. This will extract the file. Hit enter. Perfect. So it's done now. Splunk has been installed on the machine. Let's start this Splunk. So we'll have to go to the opt Splunk and bin directory. This is where you will find Splunk file. And what we need is this Splunk executable, which is here. Perfect. So you can run by dot, Splunk. Type yes, why, and then enter the admin username. So I'll say admin. Let's enter the admin password. So let's enter a strong password maybe. Let's confirm the password. Perfect. It's done. You can see this Splunk has been started. It's wonderful. Now the problem here is, the only problem is it's currently be accessible locally from the machine. You see this 127.0.0.1. So even if I want, I won't be accessed from my browser to this machine unless you are running on your local, you went like you have a Linux uh desktop experience. In that situation you maybe access it, but if you have a Ubuntu server, it would be difficult, and you can't allow the users to access your Splunk globally. So that's a challenge. In order to fix this, we have to bind the IP address. So to do that, first of all, we need to make sure we stop the Splunk. Okay, so let's first stop the Splunk. All right, so now let's bind the IP address to 0.0.0.0 so that the Splunk server can be accessible from anywhere. Okay, so let's move to opt Splunk and then etc. Perfect. Under this, we have to find a file. Sorry. Under this, we have to find Splunk launch file. This is the one, right? So let's launch Splunk launch.conf. Okay. And then we'll have to change the Splunk bind IP address. So let's search for Splunk bind. I think it's usually not there, so we'll have to add a line instead. Okay, so type Splunk bind IP, okay, equal to 0.0.0. Perfect, it's done. Let's close it. Perfect. Now let's first note down the IP address of this server so that we remember to access it. Perfect. This is the server IP address. Now let's go back to the same directory from where we can execute this Splunk. Okay. So, and that's /opt/Splunk/bin. Hit enter, and then we can run the executable, which is Splunk start. Remember, this is an executable. That means this already exists. I have shown you, I believe, right? So you can find Splunk, this one, right? So we are just going to execute this. with start command. Now when you launch this, this will run on IP address 0.0.0.0, which is this, right? And create a rule to allow this, by because by default only port 22 is allowed on a default server, so we'll have to allow 8000 TCP. Perfect. Now it should work. um, Perfect. Can you see this? Should work. Let's try with password I created. Awesome, isn't it?